Okay, so one of the most common questions I get asked is what carburetor should I be using on my engine? Now, unfortunately, it's not as easy as that. There's a few things we need to take into consideration. One being the size of the engine. So is it a small 4-cylinder, a large V8? What's the car going to be used for? Is it going to be a nice Sunday cruiser where it's mainly going to be low RPM? Or is this a dedicated race car where you're going to be seeing sustained high RPM use? The configuration. So side draft, down draft, twin barrel, even some triple barrel 40 IDA 3C carburetors like fitted on Porsches. But a lot of the time, all these things need to be factored in to see, what's going to work best for my application. So one of the great things about Weber carburetors, particularly the DCOE range, which is the most common and popular, is the fact that we can change the venturi size. So here's one that's 40 millimeters, the largest for a 45, and here's one that's 28. So obviously the 28 mil is going to create much higher airspeed, which means more torque down low. The downside is that if you go too small, it's going to limit your upper end horsepower. The large one, yes, it's going to flow a lot more, but you're going to sacrifice a little bit of bottom end torque. So quite often I get phone calls about, I've got this carburetor, it's got these letters, these numbers on it, what does it all mean? Well, it's quite simple really, but I'll touch on the easier part first. So if you've got the carburetor off the car, I'm holding a 44 IDF right here. The throttle plates measure 44 millimeters. The letters are a little bit harder to decipher, not all that important, but just for a bit of trivia, a DCOE, obviously being originally Italian, D meaning doppio, so double, C meaning corpo, throat, O meaning orizzontale, so horizontal, and E meaning there's a cold start mechanism. So there's your DCOE Weber carburetor. So let's just pop out the back now and we'll see what's going on out there. So what we're doing here is rejetting a couple of 45 DCOEs for a customer's GT Cortina. Something we commonly do with new carburetors purchased. So, a lot of the time it's far more economical for us to go through and change venturi, emulsion tubes, main jets, air correctors, pretty much every calibrated part. It's all under $70 per carburetor. So another thing we do here at Weber Performance is recondition carburetors. So one we've got here is a 2836 DCD off a Ford Cortina. This one's been in the ultrasonic bath, really good way to clean out all the passageways, ensure that there's nothing, no dirt, no debris or anything in there. Go through new gaskets, inspect, and basically a complete service. We do that right through to a concourse restoration on, so this is a 40 DCOE here. It's been hydroblasted, new plating, new brass, new screws. We'll go through and inspect every little detail. So right here we have a beautiful example of a 1973 LJ Torana. Happens to be my pride and joy, fitted with obviously 345 DCOE carburetors. All this stuff here is actually stuff that we supply, so filters, ram tubes, carburetors, full range of jets, etc., linkages, manifolds, throttle cables, gauges, fuel pressure regulators, you name it. When it comes to Weber, we'll have it. So here we have a customer's 1965 Mustang. It's fitted with a 289. We've actually just removed the Holly and fitted 4 44 IDF Weber carburetors, obviously with new manifold, linkages, fuel system, etc. This was an interesting one because the customer wanted to keep the original brake booster configuration. So what we've actually done is modified the manifold and installed a plenum underneath. So we've actually tapped into each individual runner, which then runs underneath the manifold into the valley with a plate, capturing one large plenum area, and we've got a neat little tap on the back there going to your brake booster and your transmission there. So this will be in here for another week or so. Just tidy up a couple of things and we'll get the customer on his happy way. So I hope you've enjoyed the tour of Weber Performance. Looking forward to hearing from you in the future or seeing you at the track.